You already see where this is going, right? I'm starting to feel uneasy. So this is my shoulder and he's taller than me, right? So he pretty much like walks like through me, like a part of his body, like the shoulder and the arm. I felt like I'll try to include images in the editing. It sounds crazy. And then I looked around and it was gone. Hey guys, this is Julie from Creatures Pictures. It is the weekend, it's actually Saturday, and I'm tired. And every time it's Saturday and I'm tired, I am in the mood to just lay in bed and watch some like creepy videos or, some chills or slap ham or just an horror film. And I thought that I would pretty much bring you to this side of life. Don't get creeped out right away. I want to talk to you about all my mediumship experiences. And I want to start with my very first one. That sounds really bad. If you're sensitive to this type of content, you might not want to watch this video and just skip and wait for my tarot videos or my artsy videos. Okay, so one last disclaimer. If you don't want to see or hear about this type of stories, just know I'm about to tell you a ghost story that really did happen to me. It was a long, long time ago, and I'm laughing right now, but I was not laughing on the moment, right? So it was the first time I ever experienced something like that, and I want to take you through it. I want to explain to you who I was before this happened to me and how it changed me as well, because that's kind of important. And yeah, just if you're too sensitive for this sort of things, or if it just triggers something inside of you, skip this video and I'll see you very, very soon. I was a little bit of not a scientist because I was young, but because in my country it's a little bit different than the US. You can actually pick a major when you're in high school, and my major was science. I really did believe in science. I believed in everything that I could measure and touch, and that people with degrees could tell me, oh, this is legit, which is so not me today. But yeah, I did believe in that when I was a teenager. And this story happens when I was, I think, 17 or 18 years old. So my parents were pretty much like new ageist and a little hippie-ish, and like I thought it was a bunch of crap. And I was so against all that. I was like a very rebellious teen. So I didn't want to hear about all that. I wanted to hear about science because it would piss off my dad. And I would just, study science really hard. And I still do. I still love science. And I do believe that spirituality and science actually meet up somewhere. But I was at that time completely obliterating anything spiritual at all. I thought it was fun. I thought that it was more like, kind of like how I see aliens today. I'd be like, oh, it's super scary, but does it exist? I don't want to offend anyone who says that they've been abducted, because to them, their story is probably true. They probably experienced something, and I don't want to call them crazy because that's rude. And also, if it did really happen to them, like, how awful would it be to just call them a liar after they've been like abducted with a probe in their booty? So let's get back to my ghost and let's stop avoiding talking about it. I had a friend at that time. Let's call her a friend, because if I start explaining how I knew all those people, we're never gonna end the video. Okay, so I had a friend, and this friend was much older. She was like 30. And she had children, 2 kids that were like, I think they were like 9 and 11, and there were 2 little girls that used to babysit, so I knew them pretty well. And then there was like the newborn baby that was also a baby girl. One afternoon I went to her house, my friend's house, and we were talking about the new baby and how everything was going and stuff, and there was a bunch of people in the room, right? And then she starts talking about a ghost story, and I'm a little bit laughing. I'm just like, Sure. She's saying, "Oh, there's a ghost in my house, and I can hear footsteps at night in the staircase." And, you know, typical friend who tells you their house is haunted story, right? Again, this is not the type of story that you see on TV where it's, you know, somebody living in the middle of nowhere in an old house. No, that was like in the city. It was a pretty modern house. Yeah, she starts talking about the fact that her husband's working nights and she's alone with the baby and the kids, and she hears footsteps in the hallway in the staircase right next to her door at night, and she's really terrified. And I'm laughing a little bit, thinking, well, yeah, you're home alone at night, and it kind of gets into your head, right? But I let her tell her story, and then the kids were in the room, and then they start talking about seeing a ghost, seeing a man figure. Like the older kid, she was 11, I think, at the time. She starts talking about like seeing a male figure at the at the door. Yeah, the door of her bedroom. And and I remember thinking it's not really smart talking about like ghost stories in front of, you know, kids this young, because then they're gonna have trouble sleeping. And like, you know, it's not stories. Well, it's fun on Halloween, you know what I mean? But you should not tell a child that there's a ghost in their house, obviously. Unless there's a ghost in their house. And then don't make the child feel like they're crazy, right? So I'm thinking this is just, you know, like stories that they build up in their head because they're just missing the dad in the family. And so the kids start talking about the ghosts, and then they get terrified, and they ask me, since I used to like hang out with them a lot and babysit, they ask me to come with them upstairs because they wanted a toy, but they were too afraid to climb upstairs after talking about the ghost. And I was just like, ugh, yeah, let's go get it. So you'll see that there's nothing up there. But you already see where this is going, right? So immediately when I approached the downstairs door that was going towards the staircase, I'm starting to feel uneasy. And I'm telling myself, again, I'm really young, 17, 18, something like that. And I'm telling myself, oh, it's just because we talked about it. Now it's in my head too, you know? Because that's what happens usually. So I start climbing the stairs, and although I've never, like, I was not really believing in this, I started, well, I've always been like really sensitive to energies. That's something that I was always like kind of born with. And then I feel really bad in that staircase. Like, really uneasy. If I had to describe it, I would say the walls felt like sadness. It was not like depression, but it was more of a, it felt stuck. I don't know. It was a long time ago, like I said. So we're getting into the room, and then the little child that was about 9, she tells me, oh, my stuff moved. There was something that was attached one way, and now it's attached on the other side of a piece of furniture. And she starts freaking out. I'm just like, it's your sister. It's you. You just forgot about it. You know, it's just random stuff. But she's really freaking out. So I'm just like telling her, just get your stuff already. She's looking for her stuff. I think they wanted if I remember, they wanted a DS game. That's how old it is. Do people still play with that? I don't know. So okay, this is this is the difficult part of the story. So I wait for the kids to like get their stuff, and I'm walking by, like on the other side of the room, and I'm looking by the window because there was just a landscape over there. And so I'm looking like through the window, and then like right in front of me, I see like a silhouette of what obviously was a man. What obviously was a man. It was tall, and he had like broad shoulders, and it was, I don't know, it was big and kind of like the silhouette of like a really fit guy. And this is so hard. I can still remember it so well. So it was a silhouette, but it was not like a person. It was like, you know, when you're driving and it's really, really hot outside, especially if you ever seen like those movies shot in the desert and you see heat wave at the surface of the road. It's like he was made out of the heat wave. Do I make any sense? So it was like a man made out of the heat wave. If I can find, I have a good example of kind of what it looks like, and it's an old TV show from the 90s or 2000, no, the 90s. I'll try to include images in the editing so you guys see what I mean, because it's really hard to describe. But imagine just a silhouette of a man in 3D, but instead of being a human texture, it is a wavy, transparent texture. I'm making it worse. Okay. See that silhouette, and that just happens in like a second or two. He's standing still in front of me, looking through the same window. And then he starts walking in my direction, which was one step away from me. And he steps like through my shoulder. Let me show you that. So this is my shoulder, and he's taller than me, right? So he pretty much like walks through me like this, but we kind of touch here, and he went through me, like a part of his body, like the shoulder and the arm. I felt like electricity, like static. It sounds crazy. I'm gonna look like a freak all over the internet. All right, so this is what I saw, and this is what I felt. And then I looked around, and it was gone. But by that time, I was like really freaking scared. I'm super scared because I'm like low-key having like a panic attack, because I'm like not processing in my brain what just had happened. But at the same time, I feel responsible for, you know, reassuring the kids. So I keep it all inside, and I'm just like, let's go back downstairs, like now. And so we go back downstairs, and I'm just like, you know, keeping it cool, because I don't want to freak out anybody that has to live there and spend the night there, you know, because like if it was my house, I wouldn't want people to just add a coat to the creep. Yeah, so when I step in the car and I sit in the car, I start to like shake and cry a little bit, because I was like, okay, I'm really freaking out, and everybody's just looking at me because the car was full of people, and everybody's looking at me like, what is happening? And I'm just like, okay, you all gonna think I'm crazy, and they're like, take a deep breath, just tell us what happened. And I was just like, I saw their ghost, it was horrible, it's coming for us. And I got into big dramatic big freak out, because it was the first time I've ever like experienced something like this. And so I freaked out, and then I calmed down, and then during the night, like that night and a couple other nights, like I really struggled sleeping, because I was like, what if it's coming back? What if it's attached to me now? And I'm just like re-seeing all the horror films I've ever seen in my life in my head, you know? And it's just like, that cannot be good. Yeah, pretty much that was the first episode, right? But then also, little thing that I forgot to mention was that they were talking when we were back in the living room before I had the whole experience. And my friends were like, oh, do you know anybody? Because my friend was like freaking out because she has to sleep there every day. So she was like, oh, do you guys know anybody that does like mediumship or can get rid of like, do you know anybody that does that? Like, it was maybe 2005 or, and so somebody said, oh, but Julie's parents, they do that sometimes. I was just like, no, please, no. It's like, you know, those things that are so embarrassing that your parents do when you're little? Well, that was my thing, okay? I was just like, please, ghost hunters, nobody believes that, right? And I mean, they knew, my parents had one friend when like before, like when I was really really young and before I was born, they had one friend that was like supposedly a psychic. I mean, I guess he was a psychic, but again, it's hard for me to witness on that because I was so little and all I heard was their silly stories. So yeah, apparently that dude gave a formula to my parents to get rid of ghosts in a house. And I don't know, my mother was making a big deal about it, like, oh, it's too special, only I can have it. Since somebody told them that my parents were doing that, I guess they called my parents. And so, of course, if my mother was invited, I was not invited. So I wanted to go back with like a voltmeter or something to try to measure like electromagnetic, you know, like little scientist me wanted to try to measure something. I was hoping I could go back with a camera. My parents would do that every once in a while. They would go to random people's houses and supposedly a dude was cursed. I have a bunch of those stories, honestly, because I grew up hearing them. And some of them are just really, you know, out there. But yet I am right now on the internet telling a ghost story. So can I judge? So the thing is, the reason that I'm kind of making fun of her is because you'll see, because I'll make another episode of this, when we both were in the same house and there was huge activity going on, me and my mother, she couldn't feel anything, she couldn't hear anything, she was saying that I was crazy and I was dying. And yeah, I'll tell you that story another time because let's focus on this one ghost, okay? Because this is not over. So my parents were over there and I don't know, my mother said her magical prayer and then she went home, and then my friend said, oh, he's gone, like I don't hear anything anymore. And so everybody's happy. But then my friend did some research trying to figure out who that ghost was, because that was in her head now. So she was intrigued by that story and she did some research on who was living in that house before her, because she was renting. And she discovered that there was a young man. I don't remember if he was 21 or 23 years old, but he was really young. And he was somebody that was very like into sports, so I would guess he was fit. Apparently it was told, like somebody told me that, but I don't know. But it was a young man and he was living there, I think alone, and he died in a motorcycle crash. So I don't know your knowledge about apparition and ghost stories and whatever, but apparently when you kind of appear as a ghost when you do not know you're dead, because your death was kind of sudden or violent. And so a motorcycle crash sounds like, you know, poor dude. And I mean, I really feel bad because I'm here laughing at stuff, but I really feel bad that like it's such a sad story. He was walking like up and down trying to figure out like why he was stuck in his house, maybe. I don't know. But there was definitely like energetic imprint there. And when I heard that story, I was just like, oh my god, it makes so much sense. It is definitely that dude, you know. And yeah, everybody was a little shook. I think we like never talked about it again after that, because we were just like, let's not summon it again, right? But yeah, now I'm like comfortable talking about it. I know it's not gonna do anything to me anyway, because it was just a harmless young man, you know. But it was, I think, out of all the like apparition that I've seen in my life, that one was the clearest, and it was also the first one. It was so loud and clear. It was so in front of me. I could have, I mean, I touched him, like literally, like I touched, and it was so much energy. It's like energy but dense. Like it's kind of like static. Yeah, static. If you shake someone's hand and they're static, that's kind of like that. And oh my god, I'm sorry. It's just I still remember it like it was yesterday. It's so weird. And yeah, I guess it was the most obvious apparition I've ever seen in my life. And I wish there would have been a camera that day. If it would have been today, you know how fast you can pull out your phone? I might, I say that, you know, I say that I might have had a snap, but I was petrified. Like, I was really scared. I did not believe in those things, and all of a sudden, it's standing in front of me. It's terrifying. And I don't know. That was, yeah, a ghost story from daytime. Halloween coming. So, I don't know. There's not much to make of it because I kind of had an explanation for everything. It was kind of dense and intense. So yeah, that was the first story, the first ghost story that I have for you. If you want more of those videos, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. These videos are honestly just for fun, just for hanging out. So I'm not gonna bother you with the subscribe stuff, but you can if you want, if it's your first time here. But I'm pretty sure those videos are not gonna be found by random people. This is just for my subscribers. So yeah. And if you're not a subscriber, of course you're welcome. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, that's about it. Let me know if you like those stories and if you want to hear the other ones, because I have other ones, and yeah, they're also good. Also, let me know if you have experienced such things before in your life. I would love to hear your ghost stories. And you can tell me if you like watching like chills and slapped ham and, you know, like all those like creepy videos on YouTube. We do that all the time. We're trying, there's like every weekend. I know it's low vibration, blah blah blah. I found that it's actually making me in good mood if I know when to stop. Like I don't binge watch that all night. And it just comforts me that we're not alone. Like, I mean, not alone. It sounds like I believe in aliens again. It just comforts me that, like, it comforts me in my faith. Like, the whole spirituality realm exists because, look, people take pictures of ghosts. Of course, I have a bunch of fake ones, but oh, I do. I actually do have a paranormal video for you. I do have one. I just need to find the original again so I can like put it in slow motion and just show you a little bit better than, because it happens really fast. But yeah, oh my god, I just saw my time code was at 1313 when I said that. So yeah, I have more paranormal stuff to talk about. So if you are interested, let me know. I think it's stop. I don't want to stop hanging out with you guys. I want to keep hanging out. I don't know. I wish you could just come over and sit and we'll all like eat crap, like nachos, like vegan nachos, and watch a bunch of creepy videos, and we would just pause it to tell each other our ghost stories. That'd be so fun. Well, I'll have to stop anyway because the sun is setting and I can see the quality is getting bad and my story is over. Tell me if you liked it, if you want to know more, if you have questions. And Tell me if you experienced something similar, and if so, you better tell me everything, because I want to know, because I love this type of stories. Matter of fact, I'm gonna edit this video right now, post it, so you can reply today. Even though I already posted so many videos this weekend, but that's alright. I'll work more next week. Hopefully, this time I'll have more time to work on this. I love working on my YouTube channel. I really do. I just wish it would pay the bills.